Hello, everyone. This is Adam with psychedelicinvest.com, and I hope you guys are all having a wonderful, wonderful day. In today's episode of Weekly Extractions, we're going to be covering two or three companies. Two of them are associated with each other. We're going to be talking about intelGenx and Atai, and we're going to be also covering some interesting things that I've recently come across in regards to MindMed. So I'm excited for this episode. I hope you guys are, and let's jump right into things. So to lead things off here, we have intelGenx announces FDA approval of Risafilm for the treatment of acute migraine. So this is a big deal, at least to me. This is the first psychedelic biotech play that has stock that has FDA approval. It's for a non-psychedelic formulation, but they do have FDA approval. So in regards to IGXT, they're a psychedelic play. They're partly owned, or Atai Life Sciences owns 21% of this company, if I'm not mistaken. It's 21 or 25. I think it's 21%. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But essentially, they are in Atai's ecosystem, and intelGenx just got FDA approval for a migraine film that they basically a migraine medication they were putting on their oral dissolvable film. So let's talk about intelGenx for a second, and then we'll jump into this press release. So intelGenx focuses on oral film delivery systems, which is basically they have these oral films, which are these little thin squares. They put drugs on them. You can eat the oral film. It dissolves in your mouth. You put it in your mouth. It dissolves. It skips first pass digestion, so it has faster onset than a pill would have. So let's come, like a pill would take, let's say, anyway, upwards of like 45 minutes to make it through your digestive tract and all that before you start feeling the effects of the drug. Now with IGXT's oral dissolvable film, the onset is very, very fast because it skips first pass delivery. So it dissolves in your mouth and you should feel the onset within 10 minutes. So that's a very significant increase compared to pills. So what else makes these oral dissolvable films, I guess, intriguing? We have the fact that, like, especially for migraines, you don't have to take the films with water. You just pop them in your mouth and they dissolve. So if you have a migraine, it can be very hard to swallow. So having a faster onset is tremendous, but then also being able to just pop it in your mouth and having it dissolve without having to drink water or anything like that, it's also, I think that's significant for people who are in the middle of a migraine attack or a cluster migraine attack. It just makes it much, much more efficient. And I love efficiency. And the last thing we have is just traveling with it. It's very easy to carry a pack of these in your pocket. It's very thin. You just put it in your pocket. You don't have to carry a pill bottle or anything like that. You have to like make noise when the pill bottle is in your pocket or anything like that. Even just the convenience of a flat, small thing, you could slip it into your pocket, is tremendous. Compared to carrying pills or a pill bottle. It's just much, much, much more convenient. So that's the gist of IGXT. So basically, they got FDA approval today. This is very significant for the company as the CEO has mentioned that they should be cash flow positive this year. And this is just one of those milestones that they've now checked off on their path to cash flow positive. They have FDA approval for Risafilm. So this is just very, very significant to me. I'm very, very stoked for both IGXT and Atai. And at the end of the day, we have another FDA approval coming this month, or not FDA approval, or FDA decision coming this month for IGXT, which is for Belbuca, which is for pain management. So once again, for something that provides pain relief. Faster onset, amazing. That's exactly what you want. Faster onset. And also, once again, the other benefits that I mentioned before, easy to carry it around with you. You don't need water, stuff like that. There's also a benefit that because it skips first pass digestion, they don't have to dose these oral dissolvable films as high as you would a medication that's in a pill. Because it skips first pass digestion, you're not losing some of that medication in your stomach acids or stuff like that. So there's something to be said for that as far as patient compliance goes and possibly limiting side effects. But there's a lot of benefits to IGXT's oral dissolvable films. I think that I like the work that IGXT is doing. I've been a fan for a while now. I love that Atai owns about 21% of them. Please correct me if I'm wrong on the 21%. It's either 21 or 25, but I think it's 21%. And once again, this is a psychedelic play that's pretty diversified as far as their pipeline is. They have the psychedelic stuff they're doing with Atai, which right now is just DMT, and then they have THC, CBD that they're doing. They might be doing with Tilray. They're in arbitration with them right now. We'll see what comes of that. We have Belbuca for pain management. We have Risoport for migraines. They're doing pet medications on strips. They're covering a lot. They're doing Montelukast, which is also going to be looked at for Alzheimer's. So they're doing a lot. They partner with companies and they try to put these drugs. They put generic drugs on oral dissolvable films. That's their whole strategy. So yeah, the company and the team has shown that they can get FDA approval. This is a huge, huge confidence boost to anyone who is speculating or looking at IGXT, seeing that the team can get FDA approval. And right now they are the only psychedelic play they are the only psychedelic play with FDA approval. And to me, that's extremely significant. And this is great. So intelGenx and Atai FDA approval. This is amazing. I'll read some of the tweets that we got from Christian Egemeyer and Florian Brand in regards to this, and then we'll move on to the next topic. So we have from Christian Egemeyer, congratulations to intelGenx on this massive milestone. The FDA has approved the company's Risopilm for treatment of acute migraine, proving the strength of intelGenx's technology platform. intelGenx is a long-term important partner for Atai Life. The language there is important. A long-term important partner for Atai Life. I love that they are they're supporting intelGenx like this. This is great. Which Atai holds an equity stake in it. Atai intends to use intelGenx's technology for better drug delivery options with a current focus on DMT. Florian Brand also tweeted something out in praise of IGXT. This is all amazing to read and to experience if you are bullish on intelGenx in any capacity. But once again, it's lovely to see this. We have a company within the psychedelic sector that has FDA approval. Now let's read what they had to say here. So Risopilm is a proprietary oral thin film formulation of rizatriptan, the active ingredient in Merck & Co.'s Maxalt. The global migraine drug market was valued at nearly $3 billion in 2021 and expected to reach nearly $11 billion by 2030, representing a compounding annual growth rate of 15.6%. So if IGXT could just capture like the tiniest fraction of this, that would be huge for this micro cap psychedelic company. And I know that I would, if I had the choice between a pill or oral dissolvable film that was just easy to take because you could pop it in your mouth. You don't need water or anything like that. And it has a faster onset. That to me is, I would choose the oral dissolvable films every time. What would you guys choose? Something that has a faster onset or a pill that can take upwards of 45 minutes to kick in after you take it? Especially, for example, if you're dealing with a migraine. You want faster onset immediately. You don't want to wait. Migraines suck. I cannot stress that enough, how much migraines suck and how painful they are, and how anyone who is watching this video who's experienced a migraine, immediately they would most likely say faster onset, give me that every damn time. So this is great. And once again, if they can capture a fraction of this market, this migraine market, this will be huge for the company. So they don't have revenues from it yet, but they should be coming in, I want to say, within the next year. Hope maybe by the end of the year. But hopefully it's going to be all good things for this small psychedelic company. And they also received a $100,000 milestone payment from Gensco Pharma for basically getting FDA approval. So that was, once again, that's great for IGXT. And we'll see how things evolve moving forward. But right now, I'm very optimistic on this psychedelic play. I think that they are diversified. So they're doing non-psychedelic and psychedelic formulations. They have FDA approval now. They have a second one that could be FDA approval. It's an FDA decision coming in by the end of this month. If they're 2 for 2 in the same month on FDA approvals, that's just phenomenal. And I can tell you, I think the price closed today at around 19 cents. It was actually, the price went down on the FDA approval, if I'm not mistaken. It closed red. So at the end of the day, I would say that the market has not reacted to this yet, and I wouldn't be surprised to see IGXT running up over the course of the next couple weeks, months, and just the next year in general, until we start seeing some of those the revenues coming in. Yeah, and the CEO has also mentioned that he predicted that they would be cash flow positive by the end of this year. It's possible. We'll see what happens. I like to be conservative. I'll give them into, like, let's say Q2 of 2024. But they are chugging away, and it looks like they will get there. And this FDA approval is just leading that path. So congratulations to intelGenx. Congratulations to Atai. And let's move on to the next thing. All right, everyone. So up next, we have MindMed's segment in weekly extractions. This is going to be MindMed and 18MC is what I'm going to be talking about. So to give you guys a little bit more context before I jump into things, so MindMed was running a trial on 18MC, and in this trial that they were running, they were testing 18MC on mice. So in this specific trial, the mice died after being dosed with 18MC. And then subsequently, 18MC was put on hold due to safety concerns, and that hold was never lifted. Now, at some point, the FDA allowed MindMed to basically continue allowing patients to be treated with low doses of 18MC until extensive preclinical studies were done to determine why mice died at those low doses. So that preclinical safety the preclinical safety studies were never done. So basically, the required preclinical trials were never done. Patients were treated with a dose 35 times higher than the equivalent dose, which caused mice to die. And ultimately, what ended up happening is investors in August of 2022 were basically, MindMed let those investors know that that program, the 18MC program, would be shelved. So now, there are some questions here, guys. So my question, like the first question is, why was there never a disclosure of 18MC being put on hold? So I tried to find a disclosure from MindMed at any point regarding 18MC. I never could find one. If anyone can point me to that disclosure, please, I would love to see that. So that's the first question. The second question is, how come it took until 2022 for them to shelf 18MC once again while it was on a clinical hold? So from 2014, when it was put on hold, to all the way to 2022, there was basically no mention of this clinical hold that I could find. And it seems like investors were still pouring into MindMed, excited about 18MC, and all this time you had this clinical hold there. And the main thing, that the sticking point for me is, like I said, I couldn't find any disclosure in regards to 18MC being put on clinical hold. So now, like, at the end of the day, I would strongly consider a trial like 18MC for MindMed being put on hold material information. Meaning, if a reasonable investor considers it important to purchase a security, the information important to purchase a security, then it's considered material information. And having 18MC on hold, in my opinion, and I'd love to hear what you guys think as well, seems like it would be material information. And I'll build on this even more to say that you cannot selectively disclose something like a trial being put on hold. That would violate regulations. So if certain investors were told, and not all investors. So what to make of this? So my first question is, did this happen? It really seems like it did. Was it material? Should a reasonable investor be privy to this development? Investors piled into MindMed hoping to find a cure for the opioid epidemic that is destroying America. But did they do so without full disclosure of the risks involved? And was patient safety compromised? I think this is a very valid question. Why was it not promptly disclosed for 14 months after Robert Barrow took over? Was it to keep the stock price up? Why were they allowed to trade knowing this? So what I'll say here is that at the end of the day, I don't know what was going on at MindMed that they didn't disclose this. But once again, this seems like something really important to disclose, especially because a lot of investors were at that time were very excited about 18MC. So it's like, where was the miscommunication here? Why was this never disclosed? And once again, if somebody can show me where this was disclosed, I will happily take what I'm saying back, but I just haven't come across that myself. I also just wanted to give you guys examples of companies disclosing when a drug that is in their pipeline or through a trial that they're working on is put on clinical hold. So this is just a simple Google search of FDA clinical hold. We have Merck's multiple sclerosis drug hit with partial FDA hold. Once again, these you can see disclosures happening here. Trial XMT-2056. Once again, another drug. I would recommend you guys do the search yourself so you can see. So I just want to understand kind of how to make sense of all this. Just given all of the drama around MindMed over the course of the last year plus. And I just want to understand, number one, like why there weren't disclosures regarding this clinical hold. I'll reach out to MindMed for comment as well, and I'll update it in the next video if they give a comment or not. But why there was never mention of this hold to investors, or from what I can tell, I never saw this disclosed to investors. And it seems like, obviously, if this hold took place in 2014 and it took until 2022 for MindMed to shelf 18MC, it's like, why did it take so long? What type of work were they doing in order to kind of get this trial back on track? If they were doing work to get this trial back on track, it's just this raises a lot of questions for me, which concerning questions. Obviously, I love to hear what the community has to say about this, just to get kind of the feedback of other perspectives here. But yeah, this is not, once again, I understand that. I think in MindMed's last earnings report, they spoke about looking for a partner for 18MC. Why is 18MC still even being talked about if they haven't even addressed this clinical hold? Are they taking steps to address this clinical hold? I'd love just to hear from MindMed regarding this. And also the community. I'd love some help in making sense of this, because to me, this obviously doesn't look great, but I feel like it is possible. Maybe I am missing something here. If I'm not, once again, it's just not a great look for MindMed, but I'd love to hear what others have to say about this. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching this episode. I just wanted to let you guys know that Psychedelic Invest has a channel that we are partnered with right now called Psychedelic Everything. Psychedelic Everything will contain some of the interviews that I'm doing with the CEOs, general psychedelic content, and also some psychedelic investing content as well. If you guys can please search that up in Google and subscribe, I would really appreciate it. I'll also include a link to the channel in the description of this video if you want to just get it through there. But I appreciate you all for the support. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.